with a question from Alex Bozich.
Hey, Tamar, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Just curious, how you would assess your play in your first game at IU. I think you played 14 minutes, had 6 points. Just going back and watching on film, what do you feel like you did well, and what did you see that maybe you need to work on going into the second game?
I would say, just a tad bit better shot selection, for myself, just knowing that I know where my spots are on the court and, just getting to them. And then, defensively, just making sure I'm staying locked in on the scout for long periods of time. Obviously, like you said, I played 14 minutes, but, that wasn't really much of my concern or focus going into the game. I was just going to, whatever minutes I did get, I was going to make sure I went out there and tried to make as many winning plays as possible.
Thanks.
Tom Brew.
Tamar, what were your nerves like? Did a lot of jitters, nervousness, or how did you feel? How'd you feel? Were you comfortable or no?
I mean, I was pretty comfortable. Because at the end of the day, like last night or like just leading up to the game, like Monday night, I was just like, all this is basketball. Like that's what we came here to do. Obviously, the fans are back and, everyone's going to be loud, excited, but we came here to execute a game plan and win the game. So I'm all out. My mindset coming into it was just like, I've been playing basketball almost my whole life. So, this is just obviously my first college game. I'm ready for it. I'm excited, but I'm just like, at the end of the day, it's hoop.
Dustin.
Tamar, I think Race was just on. He said you're one of the most confident kids he's ever been around. And I know I talked to your coach at IMG back when you committed, and he just said that you basically took a sort of command leadership role as fast as anybody he's ever seen in that program, the way it operates. Where does that come from for you? Basically, what allows you to have that kind of mindset and carry yourself with that kind of confidence when you're going into new places like you have?
I would say, first of all, just like, how my dad and my mom, how they raised me just to, be sure of myself and be someone who, not just like just talks about doing something, but actually does, like shows it by example, like by your actions, just always, just putting in the work and, whatever you want to do, you can do. You just have to, do the hard part, which is put the work in and go through that slow grind process. But, I kind of, fell in love with the grind and, I'm a firm believer in, reps are moved out and just like, when you put the time in, you're putting the hours in, eventually it's gonna, come to light. But outside of that, just always working, just trying to be a motivator and, a constant talker for the team.
Jim Coyle.
Hey, Tamar, in the 14 minutes that you played, what did you learn? It's in your first college game, as you mentioned. What did you learn on the floor? What did you learn on the bench while the game was going on? And what did Coach Woodson tell you to give the wisdom? What did he give you after the game?
What I learned like from being able to watch is that, obviously like on all levels, it's a game of runs and you got to be able to withstand, the other team's runs or you can, stop those and, be able to continue playing the way you did, coming out of the gate. But I would just say I learned that, you have to play the full 40 minutes and, we're going to continue to try and work towards that to where we're playing a full game and at a high level like we expect ourselves to. But, in terms of Coach Wilson, he was, of course, he had like some things to tell me about my game because, we can always improve. And, he was fine with, what I did out there on the floor. But obviously, we want to be better defensively. I want to be better defensively. And, again, like I said earlier, just making sure I'm taking good shots because, he doesn't really like say anything about anyone shooting the ball, but we have to like know the difference between a good shot and a bad shot. And then even going from a good shot to a great shot. So, just making sure that we're, doing our part on the offensive end.
Tyler.
Hey, Tamar, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to go back to the leadership part. Like, Is that something you remember, like when you were growing up and playing on like youth teams, were you like the same way, like leadership wise? And is that something that came to you naturally, or is that something that you have like consciously kind of had to work on?
I mean, I would say that's something that I've always had. I mean, even just being in school and like my teachers would tell me like you're a natural born leader, just like how I would conduct myself. And I just kind of always want things to be a certain way, and like we want to do things like the right way. Like if we're gonna do something, let's do it the right way. Let's do it how it's supposed to be done. And I don't know. I mean, it's just like yeah, it's something that I've always been accustomed to. And obviously I'm gonna continue to work on it because I mean, it's a lot of things that I still got to figure out. Like what are like the buttons I can push on this guy to like get him to raise his level of play, or what can I say, what can I not say to him? So obviously it's like some things that I still have to work on it, and with the coaching staff and the older guys we have on the team, I'm getting better at that every day.
Lastly,
Hey, Tamar, we saw a lot of different rotations there in the backcourt in the opener. Obviously, didn't shoot the ball great for the night, but just how good can this backcourt unit be going forward?
I mean, we're going to be successful. I mean, we believe in each other, we believe in ourselves, and we're continuing to put the work in and learning each other's games. We'll get better because obviously it's a process. We're not just going to come together as a new team and staff and just be at the like our highest level immediately. So obviously we still have some learning to do of each other and other team, and as time goes on and we do that and we continue to get these practices in and just being around each other on and off the court, I feel like this backcourt, there is no ceiling for us.
Kevin,
Tamar knows from you and maybe a few other players is bank shots using the glass. I'm wondering how much is that a part of your game, or is that something that's been passed down by the coaching staff?
I mean, I didn't shoot any shots off the glass or anything, but I mean that's something that I work on every day. And just like when we're in the gym, we work on your bank shot a little bit, like from different angles, and obviously like around the rim. But I mean, the coaches do want us to play fundamental, and using the glass is, a fundamental part of the game. So that's something that we all kind of try to work on.
finish up with Schumann and Pegram.
Yeah, Tamar, I want to go back to that leadership topic. What are the specific challenges of trying to take on that kind of role as one of the youngest guys on the team? How have you navigated that?
Well, I mean, being a young guy, usually people expect freshmen not to talk as much or not try to assume a role of leadership, and rightfully so, because there are guys in front of you who have established themselves at this school and at other schools. But I mean, the way that I try to go about it is just to show with my play, because I didn't have a voice really coming in. I mean, I do, but I mean that's something that comes along with you playing well and showing the guys that you're dedicated and you're as locked in as anybody else on the team. You're focused on a common goal, and but that's just something that that for me personally I have to do with my play. I mean that's the only way you can really get people to respect your game and respect you as a person.
Last question, Peegs.
Yeah, Tamar, which of the older guys were really helpful for you making this transition to college, and what might be some of the things they have said or done that's been helpful too?
I mean, well, we just on here with Race. I mean, that's been my guy since I got here. Our lockers are right next to each other in Cook and in Assembly, and we chat it up every day. And then being guys that aren't relatively close to Indiana, we want to make sure we're both always good and just constantly checking on each other's mental state and obviously physical. But it's nothing really like too specific. I mean, obviously like there's things like on the court, like different like scenarios or just like different like plays that we see out there on the floor. Them having more experience, they can help me out a lot because it's only so much I know being a freshman. But obviously again, it's basketball, and then just another guy in the backcourt would be Rob. He's been a great mentor for me since I got here, and I'm just going to continue to follow those guys' lead.
Thanks.
All right, Tamar, thank you very much.
Yep.